So it's Netivot Shalom, right? This is the fourth parsha from the fourth one that we are reading in this Shabbat. And that the Shabbat actually, it's Shabbat Rosh Chodesh, so we're reading it also, right? The Chodesh. It's Parashat Tazria, but we're reading also the parasha that relate to a Chodesh. And the pasuk is, HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem Rosh Chodashim. That's the head of the months. And Hashem is speaking to Moshe and Aaron in the land of Egypt, right? That was before the redemption. Le'emor, to tell us, right? This month is going to be the head of the month, the first for you and for the months of the year. We're always thinking that Tishrei, right? The new year, that's the first month, but no, actually it's Nisan, Pesach. And our sage is saying that rejuvenating or renewing of the months of Nisan is a Rosh Verishon Lemala Mikol Zmanei Tchadshut. Like that, this is the most significant rejuvenating or reset of from all the year. And the explanation is according to what it says in the holy books, that in each and every year, it's like we have like a new path in Avodat Hashem. And the time for that rejuvenating or renewal, right? Your car warranty is expired and you need to renew it. It's in Chodesh, in the months of Nisan. Because this is actually the beginning of the year. And therefore, from Nisan, they're already bringing the sacrifices of the Truma, Korbanot HaTruma, right? From the donation of the Chadashah, of like the new one. And this is a question, why we need to insist or makpid that it will be from a new donation and not from the old donation? If I have some extra money, why not to buy the sacrifices from that money? But he says because the essence of the Avodat Hashem of us, right, was by the Bet HaMikdash. And the Machatzit HaShekel, the donation, right? There are a few types of Machatzit HaShekel or donation that we used to give. One for Bedek HaBayit, right? And one of them was for Korbanot Tzibur. And the thing is that Machatzit HaShekel, half of the shekel, was that every Jew will have a connection to the Bet HaMikdash and a part in the sacrifices that bring him closer to Hashem. And because each and every year there is a new path in Avodat Hashem, a rejuvenating or renewing or reset or whatever, we need also that the sacrifices will be from the new donation, Metrumat HaLishka Chadasha. In order for our connection, the connection of Israel with the connection with the new path and the Avodah for that year will be from a new donation. And therefore it says, this is explanation, right? Lehad Rishonu Lachem Chodshi Hashana. That's the first month from the months of the year, because then the new path is starting. And we can see on the Pshat, right? It's after the winter, everything seems to be dead, right? All the trees, bushes, no flowers, everything is like gray, right? The grass is yellow or gray color, right? And then suddenly in the spring, everything starts to sprout and blossom. And you can see that the whole creation is restarting. Very simple on the Pshat. Chodesh, and another thing in the first months of the year, that they are high level included in the Avodat Hashem. He said the Chag Pesach, right? The Passover is like the new year for Emunah, right? The new year for faith. As our sage says, right? Because of the Emunah, this faith that we had in Egypt, that's the only thing that we had, right? We had no other merits. Because of that, because of the faith, we were redeemed. And in the same way, with the faith that we have in the future, we will be redeemed again. And in Egypt, they didn't have any other spiritual strength besides the faith that they had, right? As it said, "V'yamen ha'am," that they believed, even though they were in the 49 level of Tumah. And we see here that the strength of the Emunah, as it says in Tehillim, "Ve'emunatcha sivotecha," like it's surrounding with your faith, right? That the faith is surrounding or wrapping all the high level. As the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, it says, "Achar kol hasogotai." This is something here in Yiddish that I don't even want to attempt to say it. It basically says, after all my achievement, the only thing that I have is my faith. Only the thing is the faith that I have. And he says here, there is a righteous person that is maybe in a higher level than the other righteous because his faith is clear, better than the other one. And these level are depending in the clarity of the faith that we have. And also, emunatecha sivotecha, that the faith that we have should be also when chas v'chayla, somebody is in a lower level. When we are in the 49 level of Tuma and we don't see any hope, we don't see anything that can actually help us, still we need to hold on to the faith and not to kick it. And this is what actually helped us to redeem from Egypt, right? So the faith is something that we need to hold on. Whether if it is the faith that we are our wisdom with the deot and the ashkafot, right, our opinion, or the level of that faith that is in the heart when we have the desire and we're conquering it, that in the level of the faith which is very high, which the body actually do what Hashem wants, regardless of what we think. And this is the emunatcha svivotecha, like it's surrounding the sviva. Sviva is the area that the faith is actually surrounding us. So it says, that the most thickest material, the chomer agas, also should have that faith, penetrated with the faith that Hashem, there's nobody else like Hashem. And because the Pesach is the Rosh Hashanah to Emunah, which is the foundation of everything, therefore, that's the first month. And therefore, Kol HaMarbe Lesaper B'Tziat Mitzrayim, הרי זה משובח, right? The praise, the one who tell the stories more and more about the redemption of Egypt. This is like the best thing. Why? Because if this is the first month and this is the new year for the Emunah, for the faith, so the more you tell the story about the Yetziat Mitzrayim, you actually getting more and more clarity in your faith, and you're increasing your faith. Also included in the Rishon Lachem Lechodshei Hashana, the love of Hashem that was revealed in this month, which is the first month. So all the matter of the love between Hashem and us, right? Like love is strong like death, right? That even when we were in the 49 level of Tuma, Hashem still revealed his love to us, and he called us, right? Beni Bechorim, my firstborn Israel. That was the highest level, right? And also, it doesn't matter what happened to us at the time and where we were. Hashem wanted to redeem us. And we said, right, and we're reading it in the Agadah, right, and that Hashem doesn't look at the idol, the whatever we did. And it seems to be a question, right, because we know that Hashem never overlooked. So it's not overlooking, but it is because Hashem loves us so much, then it is if like he's not looking at that. And therefore he could redeem us. And the reason, again, why we were establishing the Mishkan, right, Moshe was building up the Mishkan in 1st of Nisan, even though the work of building it was completed in 25th of Kislev, right? Chanukah, almost like the year after, right? The year before. He says, Kedaita b'midrash Rabbah, because the Mishkan is the revelation of Hashem's love to us, right? And therefore, he wanted to have it in the first months that also Hashem revealed his love to us. Right, so it says here, we bring here from Maim Rabim Lo Yachul Chabot Ava, like lot of water could not turn off the love. And what is Maim Rabim? These are the idol worshipper. He said that even if they were all got together plotting against us, they couldn't nullify or cancel the love between Hashem to us. They couldn't. Right, but my sons, they did a mikdash instead of trying to disconnect, but they built him a mikdash, like of a tent, right? Because after all, if you're looking at the Mishkan, it's a tent, a very fancy, nice tent, but it's a tent. So my sons built me a mikdash of tent, like from fabric. And I went down and I dwelt among them. Because it says, V'lo yachol Moshe lavo el moed, but Moshe couldn't come into the Oel Moed, into the Mishkan, because the honor of Hashem was filling it. So it says, so now we understand that the Mishkan is like an indication about the size, the magnitude of Hashem's love to us. And it says in Masechet Ta'anit, B'yom Simchat Lebo, right? B'yom Chatunato, B'yom Simchat Lebo, right? It's a pasuk, it's a verse about the day of the marriage and the day of the love. It said the Yom of the love, the Yom of Simchat Lebo, is actually the day of the building up Bet HaMikdash, right? It's talking about Shlomo HaMelech. This is it is if like Hashem is like getting married to us, right? And that was the very happy day. And therefore the building up, the establishing, right? Because the material, everything was already been created, built, etc. But to making all of the things together to erect the Mishkan, right? To build it was specifically in the months of love, which is Nisan. And as I said, on the Pshat, you can see all the animals now are in the mating season starting. Especially birds, especially parrots have become hormonal now because they're building the nest and everything, right? For the spring. And that's the month of love. Not Valentine's Day. It's the spring. And that's why that was the appropriate time for the Mishkan and Hashem, right, to be established, and to Hashem to dwell and to be with us. Because the Chag of Pesach is the Rosh HaChodesh, Rosh Hashanah, for faith and ahava and love. And that's the whole purpose of everything. And also, in that month, it's the first for the months of the year. As it says, Nisan Rosh Hashanah la Regalim, right? It's the first regel. We have three, right? Like Pesach, Sukkot, and Shavuot, right? Basically, it will be Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, right? If we go according to that, the first month is Nisan. Because after Pesach, we have Shavuot, and then we have Sukkot. And Pesach is also the Rosh Hashanah Ledvikut, cleaving to Hashem. As it says in the Holy Book, in the Seder HaMoadot, that at the head of all the Yom Tovim, Pesach is the first one. Because Pesach is like the engagement between us and Hashem. Right? So it said here, furthermore, that with us and Hashem is Bechinat Arus V'Arutza, like a fiancé, right? And that's the beginning of a new Advekim B'Hashem Elekolchem, cleaving to Hashem. That's in the same context of Irusim, the engagement that happened in Pesach. And then what happened after the engagement today, when we go to a wedding, the engagement and the wedding, right, the marriage are actually happening in the same time. But in the past, they used to have the engagement, and then you had a waiting time, and then the marriage itself. So the engagement is
what? Nisayan and Erison.
Exactly.
Erison and Nisayan.
Exactly. So it says here, Arus v'Arusa. So B'Yetziat Mitzrayim, New Am Yisrael, we became with Hashem b'fchinat in the context of Arus v'Arusa, fiancé, right, and fiancé. Fiancé and fiancé, yeah? And the Atchala, in the beginning, that was the beginning of cleaving to Hashem. That was like the engagement in Pesach. And then, Chag HaShavuot, right, like 50 days after, that was the marriage. As I said, you said, the Yom Chatunatot, this is Matan Torah. The day of receiving the Torah in Shavuot, that was the actual wedding. And the Sukkot, right, which come after Shavuot, almost like a half a year after, is in the Aviena Melech Hadarav. Now, actually, the Kala is going to the Chatan house. In the Shmini Atzeret, it's actually the Yichud, when they get together. And this is the explanation for Rishonu Lachem Lechodshei Hashanah. This is the first month among the months of the year. Because Pesach is the beginning. It's the starting of the Dvekut in Hashem, between us and Hashem. And everything is beginning at depending on the beginning, right? The start is the most important thing, and then the rest will fall in place. Because after that, it will the hemshech latchalat, the continuance of the beginning. And because in that Chag of the Pesach, we had the beginning of the cleaving to Hashem, became very close to Hashem, and therefore it's capable for us to be also very close to Hashem. Pesach. This is how we need to look at it as well. And this is the rejuvenating the whole year. It's like renewing the contract with Hashem. And from all of these bechinot, right, we have also Shabbat Kodesh. As it said, Uberachto mikol hamim, that Hashem was blessing and sanctified the Shabbos from all the other times that we have, other Yomim Tovim. And the Shabbat, again, is the foundation of faith. Because Hashem created the world, right? Hashem et hashamayim, right? Ve'et haaretz. Hashem created the heaven and earth. And in the 7th day, Shabbat v'nafash. This again, this is the Yesod of Ahava. Where it says, Ki ot beni u'benechem, right? This is like the sign, the mark between you and me, between Hashem and us. And it's a covenant, an infinite covenant between Hashem and us. And also in Shabbat, we have the same level of marriage, right? You just mentioned today, no, on which day, on Shabbat, right? You mentioned about the Dvar Torah that you heard about the mate, Sunday to Monday, Tuesday, right? And then you said about the ears and the nostril and the eyes, but the mouth is only one. So the mate of the mouth is Shabbat, right? So here it's the same way that Shabbat also we have the aspect of a marriage, because each day have its own mate, but Shabbat, we are the mate of Shabbat, right? Shabbat ben Zukha. And also including in the 3 level or 3 parts of Dveikut, right? As we learn many times, 3 period of time we have in Shabbos, right? The Leil Shabbat, it's like the engagement and the Kiddushin. And this is what we said in the Tefillah, Ata Kiddashta, right? Like Kiddushim. And the Yom of Shabbat, the day of Shabbat, right? On the Shacharit, it's like the marriage itself. As it said, Ismach Moshe b'matnat chelko, right? That the Chatan, the groom, is giving gift to the Kala. And Shudah Shlishit, right? Shalosh Seudot, is the Et Ravar De'avin. It's the time of will. And that's like the yichud between us and Hashem. And therefore we said, Ata Echad, Ta Echad, Shemcha Echad, right? So in Shabbat, we have all of these 3 levels. Emunah, Ahava, and Dvekut. And also it's included in the Shlosha Regalim. And therefore Shabbat, right? Pesach is called Shabbat. As it says, right? When we're counting the Omer, we said, Mimochorat Shabbat, after the Shabbat, right? Which is actually basically after Pesach. The Tzdokim saying, no, after the first Shabbat that come after Pesach. But we know that Pesach is also called Shabbat because it have this level of Emunah. It's the first month of the year. It's the time that because it's rejuvenating and everything is restarting, it's a time of that Hashem revealed his love to us, and therefore the Mishkan was established and Hashem could dwell with us. And this is the first month that we are counting, and it's very capable of us to get closer to Hashem. And this special madregot of Pesach, of course, they exist in Shabbat. And in the head of all the Moadot, Nisat Pesach. And that's why it's very important for us when we are reading the Parsha of Chodesh, because it's, again, preparing us for Pesach. The para that we read last week was preparing ourselves in the context of Tahara. So now, after we read the Parsha, we are Tehorim, we can read the Parsha of the Chodesh that will prepare us for Pesach. Bezrat Hashem. Bezrat Hashem, we will see Revelation.
We had to be purified to